This man is drunk. Wait, am I drunk? I'm nobody. Yes, you do have a problem. God's got this. No, I got this. You're stupid. You're dumb. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a leader. I am Marcus J. Scott. I'm Marcus J. Scott, author of The Drunken Preacher, here to encourage critical thinking, social awareness, advocate growth, resilience, provide hope, and help you find faith. Hey, welcome to another edition of The Drunken Preacher Podcast. I'm Marcus J. Scott, and man, we've had some exciting guests on. And today it is just me. I'm grateful. I'm thankful that we are in August. I'm grateful that I am in August, that we are in August. We've made it through, what's that, 3/4 of the year. So we are in August, September, October. We are in our third quarter. We're officially in our third quarter. And man, I tell you, it's just a blessing. So today, I want to talk to some young leaders, maybe some old leaders too, but I want to talk to some young leaders. There's 5 things that I want to share with you today, 5 things that a young leader needs to take note of. And so we're going to get into that. But I just want to thank all of my guests who have been on. Man, it has been such an amazing time. We will have more guests. I've been trying, they've been telling me I need to get my mother on to tell her side, but it just, our schedules sometimes haven't been lining up. So we are going to have her on, so stay tuned. And then we got some other special guests, just been trying to line up our schedules. I got a couple of people that play football, so we're getting into football season, so we'll try to get them on. And then I got some special guests that they travel for their careers and everything, and so it's just working through those schedules. But we will get to them. We will get to them. But today, I even had to take some notes. I even had to jot down some notes for today's session. But today's session, I want to talk to some young leaders. Some people who may be leading, an athletic team, a young teacher, or again, doesn't have to be a young person, but just young in a new career field, leading a group of people, leading a team, leading a church, leading a small group, leading a major company. Sometimes we get to a certain level and we forget some of the things that I'm going to share with you today. And so there's 5 things that I want to share with you that I've learned through my short time in leadership, both whether it be in the military, whether it be in corporate America. For those of you who don't know, while I was in the military, I was a non-commissioned officer and in charge of up to 120 something people at one time. And then in Bank of America, I made it to the executive level, working directly for the CEO and executive team for Bank of America, and then also running my own company. And so I have some experience in leading people, leading teams. And so I just want to share some things with you on today. And, sometimes it's a struggle, right? Sometimes it is a struggle. It is a challenge, especially when we ourselves, as young leaders, as people, as individuals, that we have issues too, right? A lot of times we have issues and then we forget the things that we ought to be doing for our people, for ourselves, for our company, for our organizations, for our churches, for whomever you may be leading, for whatever group of people you may be leading, for whatever organization you may be leading. We might forget the things that we're supposed to be doing when we're having some of the issues. I think it was like 2 podcasts ago, I talked about what do you do when the messenger needs a message? What do you do when the messenger needs a message? And so I talked a little bit about that. And actually, I do want to talk on an episode about how do we preach through the pain? How do we talk to people when we're dealing with something ourselves? How do we teach and lead and try to keep that focus when we're dealing with some pain, when we're dealing with hurt. We have a death in the family, when our things are not going right, when our finances are messing up, when we're having the challenges. How do we continue to lead? And so we'll bring you that in some episodes to come. But today I want to talk about five things that a young leader needs to remember, or like I said, that any leader who is leading a group of people, an organization, that they need to continue to do. Five things that they need to continue to do in order to be a successful leader. And so that first thing is, charisma may open the door, but character keeps you in the room. Character. That's what I want to focus on. Charisma may open the door. It may get you in, but character keeps you in the room. You know, sometimes when we as leaders, when we get into certain rooms and when we get to a certain level, sometimes we let people, stuff, money, and power and other things get so involved that we forget to work on our character. We forget to continue to grow in character. We continue to or forget to make sure we're keeping our character and our inner strength growing. We sometimes fail to work on that thing that's on the inside that has nothing to do with power, money, praise, or any of that stuff. And so we begin to say, oh, well, you know, all this stuff is coming and everybody likes me. And, you know, the old saying, we get the big head, right? We get the big head. And so we have to make sure that we're keeping our character intact, because the character is what's going to keep us in the room. You know, you can get in the room a lot of times pretty easy. It's staying in those rooms. It's staying in those rooms and then having those people in those rooms take you into greater rooms. I mean, we got to keep our character. And one of the ways we keep our character is we stay focused on the principles that we have set for ourselves. You know, a lot of people, we get, you know, a friend of mine told me this. He says, write your plans he said, write your principles in pen, write your plans in pencil, and give God the eraser. Yeah, let me say that again. He said, write your principles in pen, write your plans in pencil, and give God the eraser. So we have all these plans, and God can change our plans. But what we shouldn't change, which is why we should write it in pen, is our principles. What are our principles? Are you being a good husband? Are you being a good father? Are you being someone that has true morals to stand on? Again, a lot of times we get in the rooms and stuff starts to happen. Stuff starts to blow up for us. And then we don't talk to certain people. We push certain people to the side. We say, oh, I don't do that anymore. Now, granted, there are some things that we outgrow, but we should never look at it as I'm too good for them, or I've gotten too big for that. You know, there are some people who, let's just, you know, take, you know, I don't know, a speaker. So I'm in the speaking realm. There are some people who they've blown up so much as a speaker that they won't go to the small classroom anymore. They won't go to the small community center anymore. They won't go to the little small church anymore because they've gotten too big for that. We should never get too big, one, for God's people. We should never be too big for God's people. But then we should never be, as probably my great grandmother and grandmother would say, we should never get too big for our britches. We should never get too big for our britches. And so while charisma may get us in the room, the character of somebody, the character that you keep, the person who you truly are, what's deep down inside, if you keep good character, again, being a good person, a lover of people, being someone who is a good husband, good father, that set good example, that has integrity. Someone who would do the right thing even when nobody's looking. That's what integrity is. Somebody who would do the right thing even when nobody is looking. And so we must have character. If we're going to be a great leader and continue to lead people, we must have character. The second thing we need to remember is you don't need to know everything, but you do need to be teachable. You don't have to know everything, but you do need to be teachable. You ever meet somebody and they know everything? It's like you can't say anything without them saying, "Oh yeah, man, I did that before," and "Oh, I already know what you're talking about. You don't have to show me that." It's like everything you say, they either done it or know about it or know somebody that did it. It's like you can't teach them or tell them everything. I'm constantly in a learning moment. I'm constantly seeing what I can learn. And let me just share this, and I've said this on here before. If you've lost, then that's an opportunity to learn. If you've lost something, if you failed at something, or what some people perceive as failure, if something didn't go so well, then you have an opportunity to learn. And sometimes that learning comes with coaches. I still have a coach. As much as I've grown from where I am, I still have two things. I still have a coach and a counselor. The counselor helps me with my mental growth because I can always learn and have new tools to help me on the emotional side. But then I have coaches that help me in my area where I want to grow, whether that's speaking, whether that's real estate, whether that's growing a brokerage, whatever my focus or business is, whatever my growth area in my workplace is, whatever it is I want to do and grow in, I have a coach. And so I both have a coach and a counselor. So are you teachable? Or do you get to a certain level and say, nobody can teach me anything? We should never get to a point. We should never get to a point. And my mom always told me, never say never. Don't use the word always and never. But I'm going to use it here. Never get to a point where you're not teachable. Never get to a point where you don't think you can learn something. And if you ever forget, just take any of your losses and turn them into lessons. Turn those into teachable moments. What could I have done different? What can I do different the next time I do it? How can I change and be better in that specific area? And it's not just about a business. It's not just about making money, but also going back to the character. How can I be better in the person who I am? How can I become a better version of myself? Are you reading books? Are you listening to positive podcasts? There's one right here, right? The Drunken Preacher Podcast, Marcus J. Scott 4040. So we can always be teachable. Always be teachable. Never think that you know it all. And so we must have character. We must be teachable. And then third, your private discipline determines your public power. Let me say that again. Your private disciplines determine your public power. A lot of people ask me, man, why you get up so early in the morning and you go jogging and walking and, exercising at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning? Because what you do in the dark will show in the light. Yeah, what you do in the dark will show in the light. What you do in private, what are you doing when nobody's looking in order to show the greatness when everybody is looking? You can't just show up when all the lights come on. I listen to the Michael Jordans and the LeBron Jameses and the Tom Bradys and all these great people in athletics. And it's the things that they do when nobody's looking. It's the training that they put in when nobody's looking. It's the food preparation that they're doing when nobody's looking. It's the early mornings and late nights when the lights are off, when they're not in the gym. And so what are you doing? Every morning I'm walking. I'm listening to books. Yeah, not reading. I'm listening to them. I do read some books, and in fact, I got my bookshelf over there. But I buy books, and then I get the audio book, and then sometimes I listen to them multiple times, where I go back and highlight certain things in the book. But I'm listening to books in the morning. I'm praying in the morning. I'm talking to God, and sometimes I'm just walking for hours and hours and hours, talking to God, talking and praying. Some mornings I'm listening to sermons and messages and podcasts, and again, listening to books. What is it that you're doing? What discipline are you doing in the dark so that that can show when the lights are on? You know, everybody wants to be great. One of my mentors, Dr. Eric Thomas, he said it this way: everybody want to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. Yeah, everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. So I'm going to challenge you, if you listen to this, put in the comment section, what are you going to be disciplined in enough in the dark when nobody's looking? Are you going to read more? Are you going to uh, read development, personal development things more? Are you going to pray more? Are you going to read your word more? Are you going to fast more? What is it that you're going to do? What discipline are you going to go to the gym more? You say you want to lose weight, but you won't get up and go to the gym. You won't get up and go walk in your neighborhood. You won't change your eating habits. What disciplines are you going to do this week? What disciplines are you going to do this week in the dark that will show your power in the light? Yeah, I want you to put it in the comment section. What are you going to do this week? What are you going to do this month? What are you going to do for the rest of this year? What discipline are you going to do? Are you going to be consistent at something? Are you going to be consistent at studying for the exam that you want to pass? Are you going to be consistent at the one thing that next thing that you're trying to get to? You want to be the best at it, but are you constantly doing it in all your spare time? Myron Goldman says this. This is what Myron Goldman said, and this is a true discipline, man. I tell you, he says if you're not making at least $20,000 a month, you don't have time to watch TV. That is a true discipline. He said if you are not making $20,000 a month, you don't have time to watch TV. Why? He said you don't have time to look at other people living their dreams while you're not living yours. You don't have time to look at other people's dreams while you are struggling in your reality. Why are you watching other people's dreams and you're struggling in your reality? If you got time to look at TV, you have time to develop your gift. You have time to develop yourself. You have time to do something that you can grow in and use your gift, because my Bible tells me my gift will make room for me. So are you using your gift in a way that will produce a financial blessing to you and help your bank account? Are you that disciplined? Are you doing something that instead of watching TV, instead of looking at other people live their dreams, doing something to hone your skills in the dark, the discipline you need to do so that you can grow and be better and be a blessing to somebody else? Just by honing your skills, just by being disciplined in the dark. So let's be disciplined in the dark. Put in the comment section what you're going to be disciplined at this week, this month, the rest of this year. All right, fourth, not everyone will support you, and that's okay. We got to get that as young leaders. Even myself, I have to learn to understand. Everybody's not going to be rah rah, let's go Marcus. Everybody's not going to be rah rah, let's go leader. Everybody's not going to be, hey, yeah, I see him doing it. I see her doing it. Oh, she getting it in. Everybody's not going to do that. And so we have to make up in our mind that we have the circle of people that are our support system. And then all we have to do is worry about pleasing God. Is God pleased with what you're doing? That's the question. Is God pleased with what you're doing? Is your family okay with what you're doing? Are they supportive of you? Are the people in your small circle supportive of you? You know, I begin to hear other leaders tell me, if everybody likes you, then you might be doing something wrong. If everybody likes what you do, if you're having no pushback, if you're getting no push in the direction that you're trying to go, you might be doing something wrong. You might need to rethink how you're operating, because we are going to have some pushback. But at the same time, we're not going to have everybody's support in what we're doing. And so I want to challenge you today. I want to challenge you this week. I want to challenge you for the rest of this year to not worry about what everybody's thinking about, what everybody's saying, what won't happen, what won't be, how you won't be good enough, oh, you'll eventually fail. Or maybe they're just not supporting you at all. Let's push forward and be prepared and think, everybody's not going to support me. Everybody's not going to be on my team. Everybody's not going to want to see me win. And so let's set the expectation that it is okay for everybody not to like me. It is okay to get some pushback. It is okay that knowing we're going to have a few enemies. There's going to be some people that just don't like you. They don't even know why they don't like you. There's some people that don't like you. They don't even know why they don't like you. They just don't like you. And you have to be okay with that. So let's be okay with some people just not liking who we are and who we're becoming. That's the other thing. So many people thought that I was going to fail. And they were going to say, yep, that's the preacher son. Look at him. Look at him. He ain't make it. And there's some people that are upset, angry, and mad just because I made it through. Just because I overcame the obstacle. Just because I came out of where I was. And not only did I come out just a little bit or barely, but it was like I was shot out of a slingshot. You know, I had another mentor say, the more stress you pull back on a slingshot, the further it goes. How many of you have been pulled back and stretched so far back that soon as the slingshot is let go, it goes much further. And so I'm grateful for that. You know, everybody, again, is not going to like you. And then lastly, leadership is not about being the loudest. It's about lifting others up. Leadership is not about being the loudest. It's about lifting others up. You know, a lot of people, I hate to, because I don't like being political, but, you know, it saddens me sometimes when I do turn on the TV or happen to see on a social media thing when it does come up and it just pops up and they're screaming in Congress or they're screaming in session and they're, you know, going back and forth. I'm like, why are they yelling? Like, how can anything get done with everybody yelling? Leadership is not about being the loudest. It's about who you're lifting up. And so I ask you today, who are you lifting up? Who are you encouraging? Who are you lifting up today? Who are you lifting up this week? Who are you lifting up this month? You know, there's a special election coming up here in Tampa, and the one thing that I've learned from my dad over the years is no matter what happens, we're all citizens. We're all here together. We all want a good life. And so whether the person wins or loses, still do your part in the community. Still do what you were called to do in lifting others up. If you have a passion about something, go in that particular area and do. You don't need a position to move people. You don't need a position to help people. It doesn't take a certain position to do something. So you don't have to scream and loud or have the biggest bullhorn. It's about who and how many people are you lifting up? How many people are you encouraging? How many people are you showing, hey, this is what we have in common. Let's move forward. So stop fussing and yelling and screaming when people disagree with you or they don't see everything the way you see it. But let's find common ground and lift one another up. Again, it's not about who's the loudest. It's not about who's the loudest, but it's about how many people you can lift up. All right. So there we have it. Our 5 things. Character. Make sure you have good character. Make sure you're teachable. Make sure you're teachable. Make sure you're disciplined in the dark. Make sure you're disciplined in the dark to show your public power. And then just remember that everybody won't support you, and that's okay. Everybody won't support you, and that's okay. And then lastly, remember, being a leader is not about being the loudest. It's not about being the loudest, but how many people are you lifting up? How many people are you lifting up? All right. Hey, I really enjoyed this. I hope that you got something out of this, especially if you're a young leader, a young teacher, a young person, or even an older person that you're leading a group of people, small people, a church. If you're a CEO of a small business or even a big company, let's make sure we lead with good character. Make sure we lead with doing the disciplines in the dark. Make sure we understand that not everybody will support us. Make sure we understand that it's not about who's being the loudest. And let's keep moving forward in our leadership roles. All right. Hey, listen, we got some great stuff coming up, and man, I can't wait to tell you what we have come up with and what we're doing. So stay tuned. I'm not sure when I'm gonna drop it. It may be the next podcast, maybe doing a morning motivation. Maybe I'll just do a special announcement. But man, we got some crazy stuff that is happening. And so I want you to stay tuned. Make sure you share, subscribe, and like. Make sure you share this with a friend. Just click on the link below and share it with somebody. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Marcus J. Scott 4040. Marcus J. Scott 4040. And you know how we always end the show. Always have a heart of gratitude and the strength to keep moving forward. God bless you. Drunken Preacher.